Morning peeps, good morning everyone, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Agent 47, I like it a lot. Let the mind games begin, I guess, right? Oleksandr Usyk playing a character, and he looks like that character as well. Oleksandr Usyk is such a nice guy. I've interviewed him a few times, but he's very menacing. He's got these very menacing, piercing eyes. So yeah, it's funny how this has gone full circle. Because if you were to have told me who's going to play the mind games here, I would have said, oh, Tyson Fury, that's what he does. And Tyson Fury plays characters as well. Remember him against Klitschko where he came out in a Batman costume. So if you were to have told me, okay, which of these two boxers is going to play a character, I would have said, oh, Tyson Fury. So it's funny how this is all now happening to him, right? Someone comes in character, someone starts the mind games. And look, I don't know if it's going to play its part come December 21st, but I like the fact that Oleksandr Usyk is doing his best to try and get under Fury's skin. I like it. It's all fair when it comes to war, and this is war between two fantastic heavyweight boxers. And then he went further. He opened the briefcase. Well done to Deb for asking him what's in the briefcase. He opened the briefcase and he got Tyson Fury to sign. And look, again, credit to Tyson Fury for playing along here. He got Tyson Fury to sign that punch in the 9th round, which I guess was the beginning of the end for Tyson Fury's claim to be undisputed, right? Because that's kind of the punch that started everything. And yeah, Tyson Fury signed it. So look, it's good. For those of you that don't understand the Agent 47 reference, or it just went over your head, or you've been living on Mars for the last 24 hours, Agent 47 represents a character in the TV series and the film, and I think the video game Hitman. So yeah, Oleksandr Usyk is basically saying he's a hitman. you gotta love it. Honestly, you gotta love Oleksandr Usyk. Both of them looked focused yesterday in the press conference. Tyson Fury, I'm obsessed with his weight all the time because it tells me that he's in camp without being in camp, if that makes any sense, to staying in shape. Because I hate the idea of Tyson Fury going into camp to get in shape. I love the idea of him going into camp just to sharpen his tools. And he looked quite lean yesterday. Again, I've said this before. Apologies for me repeating myself. He's never going to be body beautiful. I mean, he probably could, but that's not Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has never been about having fucking biceps and triceps. It's about him just controlling his weight. When he controls his weight, he's a better mover. When he's a better mover, he's not a sitting target as he was for Usyk when he started to slow down. Like when Usyk started to force the pace, Fury is so good at controlling the pace of a fight. When he's being controlled too, then he has a problem. And Oleksandr Usyk, one thing he did all night in May was control the pace. Like he was on the front foot throughout, and for the first 5 or 6 rounds, it's fine, right? Because you've got enough gas in the tank to keep up with that pace. It's when you start to slow down and he doesn't that you have a problem. So if Tyson Fury needs to fix one thing in camp, it's just cardio. Honestly, it's just cardio. You've got to have cardio for days. Like everyone speaks about it. Everyone that's fought Oleksandr Usyk that I've spoken to, so Chisora, AJ, Tony Bellew, always talk about his cardio. He's always on the front foot. And if you look at all of their fights, I mean, Bellew's doing well through 6 rounds, right? He's doing well, if my memory serves me right. AJ in the second fight is doing well, very well, through 8 or 9 rounds. The person that keeps up with him is actually Chisora. Chisora's cardio, by the way, I've heard is insane. Insane. I know we don't necessarily look at Chisora as sort of an elite boxer, but his cardio is crazy, and he was able to keep up with Oleksandr Usyk. But yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible night of boxing. Tyson Fury offered up no excuses, but did explain that. And look, I mean, if his wife had a miscarriage, what was it, on the eve of the fight? Mentally, bear in mind, you're going into the biggest fight of your life, sort of where everything's got to be 100% mentally. You can't be 100%. You just can't be. Anyone that's gone through that will testify that that's going to take a lot out of you. But he said, look, and this is what I said to people, because on the night when I interviewed him in the ring, he was kind of offering up excuses like, oh, obviously they're going to give it to Usyk. And I said it's always difficult to do those interviews because the fighters are concussed. They're shattered. They're concussed. I can see it when I'm interviewing them. Let them have time to reflect, watch the fight back, and then I think it's a completely different answer. And I think Tyson Fury was honest and saying, look, you know, the better man won, fair and square. It was a close fight. He won by a point. We go again. And I think that's kind of what people wanted to hear fight night, but you're not going to hear that fight night. You're not going to hear it. Sometimes I hate doing those in-ring interviews because they're just so difficult. Fighters all over the place. All over the place. They're very, very hard to do. I get why we do them. And look, I guess I'm lucky to be asked to do them, but they are very, very difficult because the fighters are not in their right mind at all. This isn't a football match. This is, you've just been punched in the head and here comes a guy shoving a mic in your face saying, all right, give me the most articulate and correct answer you can. It's going to be very, very difficult. So yeah, look, I think we've got another great fight. I will lean to Usyk again. I went Usyk the first time. I'm going to go Usyk the second time just because Usyk won the first fight. Usyk won the first fight. He knows now what to expect. He knows now that he can hurt Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury should watch the first fight and know that there is enough in there to know that he can beat Oleksandr Usyk. Again, I'm going to remind you guys, after 6 rounds, I was next to Chris Mannix and I was like, oh, Fury's won this. Because I thought Fury just looked superb. But that goes back to the problem. Going 6 with Usyk is, you know, it's only half time. It's only half time. What else do you have left? And we know now that Usyk has got a lot left. Usyk looked quite thick, I felt. It was quite difficult to tell, obviously, because of the black suit, but he looked quite thick. He will get down to what he always gets down to, 222 pounds. Again, he treats the heavyweight class like a weight division. So he will be fine come fight night. What was interesting was the, and a lot of people, some people care about stare downs. Some people say they don't mean shit, like, you know, the eyes never lie and all that kind of stuff. But during the stare down, where it was quite a serious stare down, it was Fury that kind of initiated the, let's have a laugh thing. He tried to tickle Usyk and Usyk wasn't having none of it. Usyk wasn't having none of it. He's like, no. This is my sort of stage. You're not going to try and dictate how this thing goes. I'm serious. And he was serious when it was the stare downs in Riyadh as well. If you remember, it was Fury that always, either Fury didn't look at him or Fury broke away. Usyk's very, very focused on Tyson Fury. I can't wait for it. Honestly, I can't wait. You know, as I was watching the presser and I started watching a couple of old Usyk tapes, I was like, how would Usyk have done against the heavyweights of the 90s? Like, as good as Usyk is this heavyweight era bad? Or is Usyk just so good? Like, I was honestly having it. Like, I was thinking, I'll be honest with you. I think Riddick Bowe would have knocked him out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what goes through my head sometimes. Like, he ain't doing this to Riddick Bowe. Like, he ain't bullying Evander Holyfield. That's what I was thinking. Honestly, like, Lennox Lewis sent him into another realm. Or does he compete against those guys? Like, is he? Are we watching someone that's that good, or is the heavyweight division maybe a bit flat? Like, it's got numbers, this heavyweight division, but is it full of numbers of guys that wouldn't be able to hang in the 90s? I think Fury could hang in the 90s. I think Bukoli, I really do think Bukoli could hang in the 90s. I think there are some that could, and there's some that can't. Could Usyk have not just hang, but would he have been a heavyweight champion in the 90s? Probably. There were some champions in the 90s that I think Usyk would have beaten. I mean, even the 90s had a few dud champions. But yeah, just came to mind. The undercard presser happened as well. Johnny Fisher used a fantastic line. I can't remember. Oh, fuck. Basically, he said he's not Man City. It was great. Moses was going back at him, and he said, "Look, I'm not Man City. I'm not Arsenal, but I'm like Stoke on a winter's night." And if you guys understand what that means, it's a football reference. Everyone used to say, "Could Messi, the great Lionel Messi, play against Stoke on a Wednesday on a wet night?" Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not that good, but fuck me, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, and I love that. And basically, that's a fight that could happen down the line. Obviously, Johnny's got Dave Allen, and Moses has got Dempsey McKean. They both should sell through those fights. And then I think it's a fight that will happen a year down the line, maybe. It's all dependent on Johnny, not Moses. Moses will be ready for Johnny whatever day. fucking wet Wednesday at Stoke, Moses will be ready. It's where Johnny goes. Like, how far can Johnny get? Because I think Moses is going to go all the way. Johnny could cause a few heavyweights some problems. As long as they build him slowly and don't rush because of the fan base. Like, this guy filled out the Copper Box, which is, 7,000. Filled out the Copper Box on the day England were playing. Can't remember who they were playing, but he filled out the Copper Box. And I was like, what? This guy's got a bit of a fan base. So as long as they don't push him because he has a fan base, I think he will be all good. All right, let's have a look. I saw this one. Inoue brings a gift. Christmas Eve fight versus Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman, unbeaten Australian. Before we talk Inoue quickly, the rise or the re-emergence of Australian boxing is mad. Like, I don't think we're talking about it enough. There are so many good fighters coming out of Australia. I don't know if Sam Goodman is on that level of the fighters I'm going to refer to, but still, I mean, we're getting noise out of Australia. Like, Australia don't have... How many world champions have we got? So we got Nick Bull, Daniel Dubois, Chris Benham-Smith. Is that it? Mel. They have Opataya, Liam Parrow. I think that's it. So not far behind us. And they got other names, people that do well. The Maloney brothers need to be given a lot of respect. George Kambosos. I mentioned Liam Parrow and Jai. Tim Zhu was do you know what I mean? They really are starting to kind of get guys as well that can put bums on seats. So well done to them. Back to Inoue. That's 4 fights in 12 months. 4 fights in 12 months. And I think this will be his last fight in this weight division as well. I think he will go up. There is, if you guys follow Turkey's Instagram, Turkey did meet Inoue. I wouldn't be shocked if Inoue's fight is under a Riyadh season event. Wouldn't be shocked at all. And I do think potentially, I know what people want to see, but I do think we might get Inoue Nick Bull. I do think that fight could happen next. I really do. Well, providing there's no problems against Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman's fights, all these fights have been in Australia. Good luck going to Inoue's hometown and beating him there. Good luck, brother. All right, anything else before we wrap? Top Rank preparing to rebuild troubled Jared Anderson. Why have they said troubled Jared Anderson there? Yeah, just take it easy with him, man. Jared Anderson's only 24. Like, it was awful matchmaking to put him in against Martin Bakole. Awful. And this is the one thing, with Riyadh season. I was speaking to someone about this. The want for these fighters to fight on Riyadh season, because obviously it's a bit more money. Like, globally, it's a bigger spectacle. These events are kind of huge. The want to fight on them maybe make managers and promoters push a fight before they're ready to be pushed. Like, Jared Anderson really, when you look at his back catalogue, shouldn't have been in there with Martin Bakole, but it's bigger money, it's a bigger platform, it's a huge opportunity. It's difficult to say no. I think Bob was speaking about this as well, Bob Arum. It's difficult to say no. There's a lot of fighters that maybe aren't ready to take fights on short notice. Like, I actually thought Beterbiev might fall into that trap, because again, we know it was knee surgery a few months ago. So I thought maybe he wasn't ready. In an ideal world, I'm guessing his team would have said New Year, but they've brought it forward and it kind of worked out. It worked out in the end for Beterbiev. But as for Jared Anderson, look, some good fights out there for him. Like, the heavyweight division is flooded with talent. So he can have a couple of fights outside the top 20, rebuild and go back in. He's 24. Honestly, he can sit out the whole of 25 and 26. He really can. And I mean in age, by the way, or even years, and just come back. Like, and by the time he comes back, all the big boys are gone. Fury's gone, Usyk's gone, AJ's gone, Bakole's gone, Zhang's gone. Like, all of them are gone. They're all late 30s or mid to late 30s. They're all gone. And then it's just a case of who's left. Moses is left. Moses Itama is left. All right. Let's have a look. See anything else. Sam Jones says Regis Prograis is ideal for Jack Catterall. Yeah, we spoke about that. Sena Estrada hangs the gloves up, 26-0. There was just no one for her to fight, really. There's no big fights out there for her. What is she hanging around for? I mean, I think she's got a career on the mic. I've worked with Sena on a couple of broadcasts. I'm just thinking the one at we did a Ryan Garcia fight together. She was pretty good, so she can sort of do that, or she can do whatever she wants. You know, there is a life outside of this sport. Sometimes people just move on and just you see them just. Some people just go into normal jobs again. Some people know not everyone stays in and around boxing. So we'll see what her ambition is. All right, I think that is that. Did you see Shane Fury? Shane Fury, I think Coogan asked a question about, look, we've got to see AJ versus Fury. And he's like, no, I'm not interested. And I was like, oh, finally. It's not just me. Like, someone else is saying it as well. Someone very close to the camp is saying it. He said, you know, he wants to see his brother have this one, maybe a trilogy. Obviously, that means he wins this one and then walk off into the sunset with all his faculties in place. That's the way I feel about AJ sometimes. Just like, what is it for? But I'm guessing when I asked the question about what's the biggest fight that can be made, not the best, the biggest, 90% of the answers back were AJ Fury. So the money on table for this would be astronomical, and that's going to be very, very difficult to turn down. But health is wealth, people. Peace.